Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Amaya, and if you're new, welcome. In today's video I'll be doing a Sisterlocks chit chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to touch on is how the news reporter Chit went viral due to her revealing her micro locks on live television for the very first time on Juneteenth. And when I saw this, I was proud of her because it gives us women with locks more representation. When I read her story, I found out that growing up, Chit, she had her struggles when it came down to her natural hair due to her mom perming it and pressing it all of the time. She always thought that the beauty standard of hair was wearing it down. And in 2021, she decided to get micro locks. She thought that it would be a great idea to reveal her micro locks on live television for the very first time to show women and young girls that you can embrace who you are. And I love that because you need more representation like this. And she's on television all of the time, and I know that there were a lot of women that saw her and said, yes, I can wear my locks proudly. I don't have to feel ashamed due to my hair not being at the length that I want it to be at. I can walk tall, I can work in a professional setting and still be professional. And that sucks for a lot of women and men to have to feel as though if I walk in an interview with my hair a certain way, I might not get a job. That sucks, but we always have to feel in ourselves that we're beautiful no matter what, and to walk proud with our head held high. So I'm very much so proud of Chit for doing this, as well as I was at the beauty supply store not too long ago, and it was a woman in front of me about to pay for her things, and she had an afro, and I told her how I loved her afro, and of course she smiled because I love that interaction amongst us black women when we're able to compliment one another, because it does give us a boost, and we are a reflection of one another. So I gave her a compliment, she smiled, and then a mother of 3 daughters walked into the beauty supply store, and all of her daughters had an afro, and the mother pointed to the woman with the afro and said, see, she has an afro just like you guys. And y'all, I almost brought tears to my eyes. So I went up to this mother and I said, this is why representation matters, you guys, because it's so important for young black girls to be able to look at the television and see young girls or women that look just like them. And the mother had told me how these little girls were feeling insecure about their afros, and that this summer that they would be wearing beads and braids because she wasn't going for that. So it made me think about how as a parent you have to do your job and instill in your children that they're beautiful no matter what, but you also have to be a representation of that. You have to be careful of what your children are watching on television, what music they're listening to, because it is very much so influencing a lot of children. And I know for me, growing up, I grew up in a home where it was love. My mom and my grandmother, they always told me I was beautiful. They always told me to walk tall, but it wasn't until I went to school that's where I feel as though that's when I began to become insecure due to what other people said to me. They told me I was too tall. They told me that I didn't look like I was in the right grade. They picked at me for my teeth being crooked. So I feel as though you can instill in your child so many things that once they go out into the world, you can't always protect them, but you can give them the tools to help them know how to deal with certain things when things come at them. So this is why I'm so glad that Chit did what she did, because as black people, we need more representation of what it looks like for a woman to be professional, for a woman to be on television every day, to be a representation of what a black woman looks like. It just gives us black women more hope that we can just be ourselves and to live in our truth and not be afraid due to what other people may say about us or view us, because we are beautiful. Another thing that I was thinking about how is in the lock community, a lot of the time you will hear people say that Sisterlocks look more professional than any other type of lock due to the sizing of Sisterlocks. They're very tiny opposed to traditional locks, and they are very much so thicker. So when I thought about that, I thought to myself, why are we putting one particular type of lock on a higher pedestal than the other? And I thought about how that kind of plays into how a lot of the time as black people we have to worry about how our hair looks before we go to an interview, due to how our hair looks. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I feel as though we need to stop saying that. But in a sense, I get that, because it's just telling someone, well, if you want to appear to look a certain way, you should get this type of lock versus this type of lock. But I feel as though as long as your hair is well kept, it looks nice and it's presentable, it's not about what your hair looks like, it's about if you're capable of doing the job. But tell me your thoughts on that. That's just the thought that I had, as well as I don't know if I've ever said that on my YouTube channel, that sister locks look more professional than any other type of lock, as well as I've even heard where people have felt as though people that have a specific type of lock feel as though they're better due to the pricing of their locks. And I feel as though you shouldn't feel like you're all of that due to how much money you paid for your locks, their locks, okay? And I was just on a traditional locks page, and honey, starter locks are expensive. These prices are rising when it comes to all type of locks, but you shouldn't feel as though you're better than someone due to the type of lock you have, because they're all beautiful. So please tell me your thoughts on my statement on how in the lock community there are times where people will put a certain type of lock on a higher pedestal than the other, as well as tell me your thoughts on Akilah Davis going viral due to her revealing her micro locks on live television on Juneteenth, as well as tell me if you ever felt the need to hide your locks. Have you ever felt that you wouldn't be accepted due to you locking your hair, or even feeling as though if you walked into a interview that you would be rejected due to the way that your hair looked? So please tell me down below. Another thing that I was thinking about how is this past weekend I got my sister locks retightened, and when my loctician, she hit me up, y'all, I was not prepared to get my sister locks retightened. I was not ready. I thought, I just got my sister locks retightened not too long ago, I'm not ready to get them retightened again. I don't know if you guys ever feel like this, but I sat there and I thought, I was like, I really can't tell my loctician not to come. And I was thinking about how when it comes down to getting sister locks, you have to stick to a schedule, and we all know that. But when I was thinking about natural loose hair, how when you have natural loose hair, you really have a choice to decide whether or not you want to get your hair done. So for people that have natural loose hair, they can either wear their hair in a ponytail, or they can go get box braids and wear those for months. But when you have sister locks, you don't have that option. I can't tell my loctician, oh, I don't want you to come, because baby, my hair will look a hot mess. And you will hear a lot of time people will say, well, having locks is so much easier, which it is easy, but at the same time it's like raising a child. And that's what I heard another lock content creator say, and she's had her sister locks for the same amount of time that I've had them, which is almost 6 years for me, and she's on 6 years currently. So when she said this, I said, yes, you are definitely right, because you cannot neglect your hair. You cannot tell your loctician, no, I don't want you to come unless you're ready to spend a lot of money. And sister locks, they're already expensive enough, so why would you want to spend more money due to you not wanting to get your sister locks retightened? But yes, having sister locks is like raising a child. You can't neglect it. You have to stay on top of your retightening appointments. And I knew that it was time for me to get my sister locks retightened. I just didn't think that it would come up so soon. But this time, instead of me getting my sister locks retightened during the 6-week mark, I ended up getting them done during the 5-week mark, which is cool, because baby, after my retightening, y'all, I felt so beautiful. Y'all already know that feeling after you get a fresh retightening. So I was glad that I got my sister locks retightened. I just thought, I can't tell my loctician not to come. She has to come. It was all good when my loctician came over. We had a good time, we talked, but I feel as though I'm able to come on here and vent about certain things that I realized with having sister locks, and being able to say, no, I'm not ready to get my sister locks retightened at the moment, because my hair will still look fine. But no, that's not the case. Opposed to when you have natural loose hair, like I mentioned, you can put your hair up in a ponytail, you can do mini twists, you can do braids and go about your day. But with sister locks, you have to stick to a schedule, and if not, your hair will look a mess. Lastly, I want to speak about is how I currently have 402 subscribers, and I want to give you guys a shout out for that, because in my last video I spoke about how I was comparing myself to other lock content creators, feeling as though that I wasn't getting the same type of love that I think that I should be receiving. And in that moment I had to check myself, because I wasn't looking at the things that I currently have, such as people commenting on my videos, liking my videos, but I still take accountability of not seeing the growth that I think I should have seen by now due to the lack of consistency I have shown on my YouTube channel. So in that chit chat, I also speak about how I looked in the Bible and how I read in the book of Galatians chapter 6 verses 4 through 10 how it talks about in order to see the fruits of your labor, you have to focus on you and your own work. So YouTube, they just lowered their monetization requirements. So in order to start getting paid on YouTube, you have to have 500 subscribers, as well as they have lowered their watch hours. So I said, look at God, that's just confirmation for me to keep going. So currently I'm at 402 subscribers. So if you're watching this video, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe to your girl's channel. I would really appreciate it. And this just shows me that in order to see the fruits of your life, you have to continue to push yourself. You have to continue to believe in yourself, and that's what I'm focused on in my life right now, is to continue to keep going no matter what the circumstances are, because you never know what God has in store for you. So please, you guys, subscribe to my channel, continue to come back. Please tell me your thoughts on this video in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for the constant support that you guys give me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.